Imagine you are standing on an uninhabited island and dozens and hundreds of slippery crawling bodies are rustling around you. You start to choke with fear. Your heart is racing. You look around and see snakes. They are everywhere you look, even on the trees. It seems like you are in a nightmare, but you are not. This is just one of the scariest places on our planet, and there are many more of them. We have picked for you the top places you'd better never go to. The most dangerous places in the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to make sure you don't miss our videos. At first glance, it looks like a paradise island with palm trees and a sunny climate. And the name Bikini Atoll surely reminds you of something. Yes. Number 1. Bikini Atoll. The action of famous Nickelodeon animated series SpongeBob SquarePants mainly takes place in the fictional underwater town of Bikini Bottom, which is supposedly located under Bikini Atoll. But this island actually has a very grim history. It was here on Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands that the US conducted nuclear weapons tests from 1946 to 1958, and just nearby, on any way at all, the first hydrogen bomb was tested on November 1st, 1952. Bikini was chosen because of its remote location and spacious and easily accessible lagoon, and the inhabitants were asked to move to a neighboring atoll. After a council with elders, the ruler paramount Earl of Bikini inhabitant agreed, and 167 indigenous inhabitants moved to Rangeri Atoll. Unfortunately, the trees and palms of the new home were not so fruitful. Fresh water was not enough, and there were food poisoning cases. The Bikini Atoll's indigenous people were subsequently relocated several more times. But back to the test. The operation in 1947 was called Crossroads. It involved dozens of warships and airplanes, 25,000 radiation meters, and thousands of laboratory animals were brought to the atoll. There were 2 tests, codenamed Able and Baker. During Able, a bomb was dropped on 73 warships in the 21 kiloton. Baker bomb dubbed the Helen of Bikini exploded at a depth of 27 meters, 88.6 feet. Phil, what happened at that moment? 2 million tons of water, sand, and powdered coral exploded into the air. The explosion literally shredded the ocean bottom. Scientists who examined it 73 years later found that it had never leveled out. The target ships and the atoll as a whole were heavily contaminated with radioactive material, but at the time, few people realized how severe the contamination would be. Years later, the level of radiation from the impact has significantly decreased, but the problem of contamination from the sunken ships remains. It was just that during the test, the ship had to be left in full combat readiness, that is, they still had fuel and ammunition. As a result, fuel continues to leak from the Japanese Navy's flagship, Nagato, spreading for miles. The third Bikini test, codenamed Castle Bravo, took place in 1954. A hydrogen bomb was detonated over the atoll. The explosion was 1,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Up to 100 Japanese schooners were exposed to radiation, and 457 tons of tuna were spoiled. 192 kilometers, 119 meters from Bikini, radiation levels reached 1,000 raw engines per hour. while 600 engines is already lethal to humans. Overall, it was the most powerful of the nuclear tests in the US history. They continued for another 4 years until 1958. As a result, Bikini became uninhabitable. The soil and water became contaminated so that farming and fishing were no longer possible. More than half of 165 indigenous people of Bikini Atoll died due to the severe radiation-related diseases. The US later paid the descendants of the Bikini Atoll inhabitants $83 million in compensation for damages from nuclear tests and relocation from their home island. There are now 4 to 6 caregivers living on the atoll. If you want to know the most dangerous one, stick around for the last one, cause it will blow you away. Please don't forget to subscribe us. Thank you so much. Now let's move to another island you'd better also avoid, but for a completely different reason. Number 2, North Sentinel Island, isolated tribe. What could be hiding there? Giant lizards, aliens, traces of ancient civilization? In fact, this place has become a haven for people who have been called devils and bloodthirsty demons. We bet you wouldn't want to encounter them after such a presentation. What makes them so dangerous? Officially, the North Sentinel is governed by India, but in reality, this Andaman island in the Bay of Bengal, about the size of Manhattan, 58.8 square kilometers, 22.7 square miles, is a real thing in itself. Its inhabitants are the most isolated tribe in the world, unwilling to embrace civilization. Yes, they don't know what the dollar, global warming, and online movie theaters are. The Sentinelese forbid outsiders from coming to their island and kill those who try to get to them. The last time their atrocity was brought up was in 2018. That was when a 20-year, 6-old American missionary, John Chow, who arrived on Sentinel without permission from Indian authorities, tried to land on the island to convert the natives to Christianity. Chow brought a Bible and souvenirs. The indigenous people made signs ordering him to get out, but the young American did not give up. And next time he persuaded the fishermen who had brought him to leave him on the shore. It ended tragically. Chow was shot with an arrow, and fishermen who saw the guy's body being dragged along the shore were arrested for having brought him there illegally. But even before Chow encounters with islanders ended badly in 2006, for example, 2 fishermen went to Sentinel to catch crabs. They wanted to negotiate with the islanders, but they killed them immediately. The Sentinelese were not even afraid of helicopters that came for the bodies and showered it with arrows. The Sentinelese were not even afraid of helicopters that came for the bodies and showered it with arrows. This hatred for the ironbirds can be explained. 2 years before, there was a severe tsunami, and the local authorities decided to help the indigenous people. They dropped off food supplies and essentials, while accidentally killing one of the Sentinelese with a sack. The issue is complicated by the fact that no one knows or understands the language of the islanders. It is not even known what they call themselves, nor is it known how many people live on the island. This makes the North Sentinel one of the most mysterious places on the planet. Now India is trying to protect the islanders from outside invasion. By law, it's forbidden to approach the North Sentinel any closer than 8 kilometers 5 miles. Indian researchers believe that the Sentinelese should just be left alone and allowed to live the way they do. Another reason is that the islanders have no immunity to diseases that are common in the rest of the world. These diseases can simply kill them, but the island and its inhabitants are very interesting for the tourists who visit the neighboring tribes. So, can they be protected in the age of globalization? We don't know. but we'd better stay away from them for now. If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to subscribe us. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, staying away from the next subject of unknown bird is not so easy, at least for the locals. Number 3. Mount Sinabung, Indonesia. At the end of August 2010, the Sinabung volcano woke up after 400 years of sleep. The giant, with a height of 2,460 meters, 8,070 feet, is located in the north of Sumatra Island in Indonesia. People have been settling near it for ages, not realizing how dangerous it is. Indonesia is located on the tectonic faults of the Pacific Rings of Fire and ranks first in the world by the number of volcanoes. There are 147 of them in the country, of which 130 are active, and as many as 9 million Indonesians live close to active volcanoes, that is within 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles from them. Since Sinabung came out of hibernation, it has erupted almost every year, sometimes several times a year. As a result, airplanes flying through the region have to change their routes. Each eruption is accompanied by evacuations of between 6,000 and 20,000 locals. But sometimes things end tragically. In 2014, for example, this fire-breathing monster took at least 16 lives because people living within 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles from it, were allowed to return home when they thought the eruption had stopped. But shortly after, the volcano erupted again. A journalist who wanted to take a closer shot was killed, and as were 4 children from a local school along with a teacher who decided to observe the eruption. In 2016, the volcano killed 7 more people and seriously injured 3 others, and it was an epic show. When it woke up, a column of ash and smoke rose to a height of 3 kilometers, 1.9 miles. 2,000 residents of surrounding villages had to be evacuated from their homes, but that proved to be just the beginning and the evening of the same day. The outburst continued. At the same time, an earthquake struck, affecting an area within 25 kilometers, 15.5 miles of the epicenter. A few more days later, Sinabung fired the 3rd portion of ash. The sound of the explosion could be heard at a distance of 8 kilometers, 5 miles. In 2021, the volcano erupted as many as 5 times, starting in January and ending in July. Last time, in addition, a high column of dust and gas. There were also pyroclastic flows, destructive streams of volcanic debris that spread 1 kilometer, 0.6 miles from the mouth of the volcano. They outpaced even airplanes' speed, reaching 700 kilometers per hour, 435 miles per hour. And their temperatures reach 800 Celsius, 1042 degrees Fahrenheit, which is deadly to any living creatures in the vicinity. But we've had enough of high temperatures. If you want to know the most specific one, stick around for the last one, because it will blow you away. We've had enough of high temperatures. Let's move to the coldest inhabited place on Earth. The pipes freeze here, so most toilets are outbuildings with no water supply. The ground also freezes and there are very few plants, so you would have to eat mostly meat and fish, sometimes in frozen form. Vegetarians, this is not the right place for you. The engines here freeze so fast that they are not turned off sometimes, even at night. And when you walk on the street, your eyelashes get covered with frost. It's a place where winter is coming all the time. Number 4. Oymyakon, Russia. Welcome to Oymyakon, a remote Yakut village in eastern Siberia near the Arctic Circle. In 1924, the temperature dropped to a record low of minus 71.2 degrees Celsius, minus 96.2 degrees Fahrenheit. The average winter temperature is minus 50 degrees Celsius, minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The village itself was founded in the 1920s. Here, shepherds used to water their reindeers from the thermal spring in winter. During the shortest days of the year, the night in Oymyakon lasts 21 hours. Every March, the village hosts the Pool of Cold Festival, which is the name given to the areas with the lowest temperatures. According to beliefs, the festival is held by Cheskin the Yakut, spirit of cold. He looks like something between Gandalf and the Ice Queen from Frozen. In summer, the temperature in Oymyakon can reach 35.5 degrees Celsius, 96 degrees Fahrenheit. However, the daily temperature swings are large, and it can be 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, 59 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit cooler at night than it is during the day. No wonder that the Pool of Cold has become a point of attraction for record lovers. In 2019, for example, Oymyakon hosted the world's first ever race in record low temperatures. At the time of the start, the temperature was minus 48 degrees Celsius, 54.4 degrees Fahrenheit. It lasted 4 hours. During this time, runners covered several different distances. The participants were from France, India, Italy, Austria, and Taiwan. A resident of Japan also dared to do an extreme act. He bathed in Mekong in the river at a temperature of minus 60 degrees Celsius, minus 76 degrees Fahrenheit. The man ran out of the van in his underwear, plunged into the water several times, and came back. His video was later posted on YouTube and gained over 200,000 views. It's chilling to even look at, isn't it? This one of the most dangerous places in the world has also become one of the most romantic ones at the same time. Swiss Patrick Baumann proposed to his French girlfriend. The couple came to Oymyakon specifically for this purpose and made a movie about it. However, they couldn't put the ring on because of the frost. I hope you didn't get too cold here, cause we're moving on back to one hot place. If you're looking for an adrenaline rush, this is the place for you. Number 5. The Danakil Desert. The Danakil Desert stretches over 1,036.95 square kilometers, 52,879 square miles across Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti. So you don't have to go to space at all to see Martian landscapers. Here in the Danakil Desert, they are formed by salt deposits. There are 4 people who inhabit this area have been mining salt for centuries. It was used as currency in Ethiopia until the 20th century. It's thick deposit. In some places up to 800 meter, 2,025 feet deep. And the petrified corals that have been found here suggest that there used to be an ocean on the place of this desert. And imagine you are standing under the ruthless sun, feeling the salt brought by the wind on your lips and inhaling the air filled with poisonous gases. Yes, even breathing in the Danakil Desert is harmful. That's because the air contains high concentration of poisonous sulfur vapors. Therefore, researchers believe that even a short stay in this desert can impact health. The temperature is no less dangerous. During the day, it exceeds 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit, and generally it rarely falls below this mark. There is only 25 millimeters, 1 inch of rainfall per year. No wonder it is one of the hottest and most lifeless places in the world. Part of the desert is Danakil Depression, one of the lowest places on the planet. It is 125 meters, 410 feet below sea level. On winter morning, the temperature here may well fluctuates around 35 degrees Celsius, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And the overall maximum temperature is 63 degrees Celsius, 145.47. Studied whether microbes could live in reservoirs of boiling water that are found in the Danakil Desert. This way, they wanted to find out whether similar organisms could survive on Mars. And it turned out that these organisms could survive in such a harsh environment. But you wouldn't like these hot springs. Their water has an average pH of 0.2, which means it's about as acidic as battery acid. The Danakil Desert is also a volcanically active area. Here, just in the depression, there is dominant volcano island and active volcanoes Dalal and Erupting. Who knows when they will decide to erupt? All this increases the risk of staying in this place, adding points to its dangerous reputation. Nevertheless, tourists actively strive to come here, despite the dangers or maybe just because of them. So, which of these was your favorite fact? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Thanks for your watching. Take care.